Good afternoon. My name is Johnny Vogt, and I'll be presenting this case study on the behalf of DDS Analytics. This is our agenda for the slide deck. First, we'll go over our executive summary. Then, we'll start looking to employee demographics. Afterwards, we'll start visualizing the data and start looking into the relationships. We'll go over the different types of model that we've created. And finally, we'll finish off with the conclusion. The executive summary. DDS Analytics works in talent management, providing a range of services dealing with employee performance. We're here to find out why people are leaving the company, Frito-Lay's, and to create a model on how to detect employees before they leave the company. And we are conducting this case study because attrition costs money. In order to replace the money, it costs money throughout the hiring process, retraining, and even their overall productivity before they become spun up. And at the end of the day, we may come across a data point that may inadvertently help the company in the future. $8.6 million. That is how much money it would take to replace every employee that left Frito-Lay's from the given data set. Employee summary. Overall, there are about 870 total employees at Frito-Lay's. There are about 354 females and 516 males. The average age is around 37 years old, and most people in the company are around the 5th or 6th year in the company. And these are the amount of people are in each department. This is the data on people who stayed. The average age of people who stayed were about 36 years old, and they were making about roughly $60,000, and they had about 6 years in the company. A lot of this data doesn't look alarming until you start comparing it to people who left. And when you do that, you start to see that the people who left were younger, with an average age of being 32, and they were making a lot less money, just under $40,000, and they also did not spend a lot of years in the company, averaging around 3 years each. Correlation and causations. As we start visualizing the data on graphs, we'll start seeing patterns between data points, and some of them may help us and some may not. Here are some of the ones that I made. First is a bar chart of employee job levels, separated by their level, and further separate out whether they employees left or not. As you can see, most of the employees that had left were from job levels 3 and lower. Most of them coming from job level 1. The next is a box plot of employee salaries with the same job levels, and I wanted to see if there were any large discrepancies. But as you can see here, most people throughout job level 1, 2, and 3, where most people had left, they were being paid roughly average, roughly the same. I was still stuck on salaries, so I kept looking for more correlations, and I found them in commute groups and age groups. And from what I found, that regardless of what group an employee was from, people that left were making less money than the average person, than their counterparts. This is a scatter plot of employees that had stayed. It measures their salary on the y-axis and their age on the x-axis, and the color represents whether or not they have stayed at the company for 6 or more years or less than 5 years. And as you can see, for employees that have stayed, most of them, a lot of the data is scattered throughout the whole graph. Most of them clustering around 30 to 40 years old. And with the employees that had left, you can see that most employees that left were under 40, and were also in the company for less than 5 years. I love box plots. When it comes down to it, people work for money. I looked at what people were making by departments and job roles, and you can tell again that the people that had left the company were making less money than average. Noticeably, look at the sales department on the far right. Over 50% of the people that left were making less than 75% of the employees that had stayed. Even even more noticeably, look at HR on the same plot. The only employees that left were the lowest making employees. K&N model. The K&N model relies on similarities, and I created a model based off of age and salary. The model has an accuracy of 65.65, 0.71 sensitivity, and 0.44 specificity. Naive Bayes model. The naive Bayes model predicts based off of the probabilities of each classifier. The model that I had used uses age, tenure, commute, job level, role, and salary. This model has a high sensitivity rate. You may get more false positives, but the benefits of intervening with the possible attrition far outweighs the opposite. Conclusion. At the end of the day, people leave for money. When they don't feel like they're being paid and equal to their peers, they start to look for new jobs. Using Frito-Lay's own data, it would cost about $28,000 in incentives. With the median cost of attrition for each employee that left being $11,000, it would take about 3 to 4 employees to make up that cost. This concludes my case study. Thank you for your time and attention. If there's any questions, please feel free to ask. If not, you may feel free to leave me an email or reach out to me with my phone number.